So my front brake is pretty soft. You can see when you pull in the lever, it goes all the way to the throttle. Now I've bled the system a handful of times. It's gotten a little better. What you want to do is I loosen this up to make this level, because you're gonna have to take this off. You can see I have the steering turned just a little bit, so whatever it takes to kind of get the master cylinder level. You can see there's fluid in there. I'm going to drain all that out. To replace the brake line, we're going to have to remove it, obviously. So the steps that we're going to do, well, first of all, get some plastic or something to put over your plastic and tank, because brake fluid will damage if you leave it on there. So the order that we're going to do is, you got the little bleeder right here. Take that off. We're going to bleed it there. Once all the fluid's out, remove the bolt. You're going to have these two bolts here. Just loosen this up. This will come out. Take note of the routing. You're going to want to route it to the exact same position so it doesn't pinch or bind up or anything. And then once you loosen that, you're going to remove this bolt down here, and you'll be able to replace the steel. Okay, so to bleed the system, we'll crack these. And I already busted these loose a little bit. When you do this, put a lot of pressure, downforce pressure on these, because these screws will strip out very easy. A lot of times they're in there pretty snug. Take the screws out first, just so you don't lose anything. Okay, so now I'm just gonna leave that open. As you pump it, do it slow. A lot of times I'll put my hand over it because it will spray out. See it, fluid coming through. Okay, got all the brake fluid out that I can. So now what you want to do is you want to crack this, and then you're going to get more fluid coming out and dripping and stuff. So just have a container to catch it, just so you don't get anything. If you get it dripped anywhere, just clean it up with brake cleaner or contact cleaner is what I use. Once you remove the bolts, you'll see some fluid come dripping out, and you just come up here, loosen up these bolts. This will slide down, it will come out, and then you go up here and remove the bolt to the master cylinder brake line. The one in the bottom of the video right now actually goes to the top. So the one that's bent the most goes to the master cylinder on the handlebars. Now we need to put brake fluid into the master cylinder. I have the new brake line installed. Once again, the clear hose comes up here and wraps around. You want it higher than this, because when I bleed the brake fluid, I'm just going to keep this open and pump back and forth, and the fluid, you can see a little bit here from previously, is going to stay here and it's going to go back and forth. The air bubbles will be at the top, so you don't have to worry about sucking air back into it. But I'll show you in just a minute. Okay, so now I put some brake fluid in there, and you're going to want to pump it. Okay, now once you start doing this, you see some bubbles coming up there. Okay, so I crack it open, make sure your line, and then now at the lever, I'm just going to keep pumping it. There's going to be a lot of air in this because it's a new line. You see all the air? But you want to make sure that your fluid doesn't get too low. And I'm holding the lever in right now. Sometimes you can just let gravity take over. Okay, so now I have some pressure in the brake line. So what I'm going to do is just try to get all the fine bubbles out. And you can see how the loop is up higher. See how when I pump it goes back and forth? Well, the top part right there is the end of the fluid. So all this is fluid that's coming through. You see some little bubbles just came out. So you have it open and you just pump. And it actually pumps the fluid right through. There's a couple more little bubbles. You do not want to suck more air in up top. So I have it closed right now, and then you want to close the bolt. And once the bolt is closed, you want to pump a little bit just to get the pressure. Oh yeah, brakes are big time better. Okay, when you're done, everything's all buttoned up. Make sure this is tight. And what you want to do, keep the other end in the bucket. I usually just pinch this end, pull it off, raise it up. All the fluid will run down. Don't let it miss your bucket like that. Now the brakes feel back to normal.